Welcome to the gate. I am the gatekeeper. You come here claiming to know the Rolex Daytona cosmograph. We're here to talk specifically about the Rolex reference 6239. Most people look at their wrist and simply see a watch. They are the tourists, the ones who buy because they were told to, because it is shiny, because it matches their suit. But you claim to see a marker of the highest quality, a measurement of where one belongs. You see the inner truth behind the gears, or so you've convinced yourself. Today, you've wandered up to the gates of the Rolex Daytona 6239, and you are about to find out if you actually belong here, or if you're just another passerby staring through the glass. I have created 5 gates of increasing complexity. Only those who are true fans of this timepiece will pass and earn the title of Keymaster. If you can't, well, the gate shall remain closed, and your wrist barren. Get ready to prove your fandom. Try to keep up. Gate 1. The Impact. Beyond his fame as an actor, what was the specific secondary profession that justified Paul Newman's need for this watch? He was a professional race car driver. Paul Newman's Rolex was a tool for timing laps. It was not meant as a fashion statement for the red carpet. Of course, Paul Newman being Paul Newman, he was largely responsible for making the Daytona the iconic statement it is today, a fact most tourists cite without understanding the man behind the wheel. That was our easiest gate. If you struggled there, I suggest you leave now. The rest of us, let's step forward, shall we? Gate 2. The Dial Tell. What is the distinct visual identifier on the subdials that separates the Paul Newman Daytona from the standard production dial? The markers. On the Paul Newman dial, the indices feature square-tipped markers, the blocks, giving the subdials a thicker, more aggressive and graphic appearance. By contrast, the standard dial features simple, slender hash marks. These lines are subtle, uniform, and prioritize legibility over style. When you place them side by side, the standard dial looks like a precise tool, while the Paul Newman is a deliberate design choice meant to stand out. It's the difference between a functional instrument and a curated aesthetic statement. But you knew that already, didn't you? Or were you just guessing? Shall we continue? Gate 3. The Rarity. Why did retailers in the mid-1960s struggle to move the 6239 off their shelves? Believe it or not, in the 1960s, the reference 6239 was considered a visual disaster. Today, we live in an era where more is more. But in the 1960s, the height of elegance was minimalism, and the 6239 was the opposite of that minimalist elegance. It was loud, it was in your face, it featured a high-contrast, exotic dial that was far too busy for the refined tastes of the day. Most importantly, it broke the rules of aesthetic harmony. To the average customer looking for a clean, reliable dress watch, it looked like a confusing, unfinished prototype. Its rarity today is a result of the fact that back then, nobody wanted to buy it. It sat in display cases, gathering dust, waiting for a risk-taker to see the beauty in its chaos. I wonder what you would have thought back in the day. Now then, are you passing through, or are you just another tourist standing around? It's time to take a look under the hood. Gate 4, the heartbeat. What is the specific movement caliber found in the original reference 6239? The reference 6239 was powered by the Valjoux 72, a manual wind chronograph movement that stands as a monument to mechanical integrity. It wasn't just a caliber, it was the engine that defined the golden age of sports chronographs, providing a level of reliability and tactile precision that remains unmatched even by modern standards. In a world of mass-produced quartz, the 72 represented the literal soul of the watch, a complex hand-assembled machine that demands the respect of a master. The tourists have dispersed. It is time to be a little more, shall we say, spiritual. Gate 5, the soul. Why do true horologists consider the loss of the Valjoux 72 to be the death of the 6239's original identity? In 1988, Rolex moved to an automatic movement, the reference 16520, powered by the Zenith El Primero-based caliber 4030. Before that, this watch required your participation. To operate this timepiece, you had to interact with it every day. You had to wind the crown, feel the resistance of the mainspring, and listen to the mechanical click of the column wheel engagement. It was a conscious, physical ritual. With the new movement, this Rolex became an appliance that maintained itself. A so-called improvement, perhaps, but this Rolex lost that tactile, honest connection between the wearer and the watch. It became convenient, and convenience is the enemy of excellence. You have the answers. You've looked into the movement and seen the truth. The final gate awaits, and it requires your courage to enter. Tell me, how did you do? Did you pass through all my gates, or are you stuck outside with the rest of the tourists? Be as bold as the Daytona and declare your results in the comments below. This final gate is unlocked only by a display of absolute certainty. Be precise, be detailed. If your grasp of the history is as sharp as the watch itself, I will know. I'll be reading. I might even deign to reply to your comments. I am the gatekeeper. Subscribe, step up, and prove your fandom.